Ancient warriors consumed juice from a single tree before battle to endure impossible pain and sustain energy through brutal combat. Egyptian pharaohs placed jars of its oil in their tombs, believing it would preserve youth in the afterlife. For over 4,000 years, this tree sustained entire civilizations through famine, disease, and war, one tree providing complete nutrition for an entire family. Then, in 1913, Western scientists discovered they could isolate individual nutrients from food, call them vitamins, and within 30 years, pharmaceutical giants like Roche, Merck, and Pfizer built billion-dollar empires selling back to humanity what nature already provided for free. One tree threatened their entire business model. I'm Frank Miller with Heritage Garden Wisdom, and the plant I'm revealing today, Moringa oleifera, contains more vitamin C than oranges, more iron than spinach, more calcium than milk, and complete protein that nutritionists claim only exists in animal products. Subscribe to Heritage Garden Wisdom right now if you want to know which trees provide complete nutrition that pharmaceutical companies cannot patent. Hit that like button and drop a comment telling me if you've ever grown moringa or which nutrient-dense plants you want covered next. By the end of this breakdown, you'll understand exactly why this miracle tree was buried by economic forces protecting vitamin patents, and how you can grow it to opt out of the supplement industry permanently. Moringa oleifera is not a vegetable, not a supplement, but a biological anomaly that breaks every rule of modern nutrition science. Most plants excel at providing one dominant nutrient. Spinach delivers iron. Oranges provide vitamin C. Carrots supply beta-carotene. You build balanced nutrition by combining dozens of different crops, each contributing a piece of the nutritional puzzle. Moringa refuses to play that game. A single tree produces leaves containing all 9 essential amino acids, the complete protein profile that nutritionists insist you can only obtain from animal products or carefully combined plant foods. Moringa accomplishes this naturally, without human intervention. In 2017, researchers at Bangladesh Agricultural University published comprehensive nutritional analysis in the International Journal of Biological Research, testing fresh moringa leaves from multiple regions. The numbers defy conventional nutritional logic. Fresh moringa leaves contain up to 29% protein by dry weight. For context, spinach, the vegetable promoted relentlessly for protein content, contains less than 3%. Moringa delivers 10 times the protein density. Vitamin C content ranges from 188 to 279 milligrams per 100 grams. Oranges, the fruit we're conditioned to associate with vitamin C, contain only 53 milligrams per 100 grams. Moringa provides roughly 5 times more vitamin C than the citrus fruit marketed as the ultimate source. Iron content measures at 4 milligrams per 100 grams. Spinach, famously promoted for iron content, contains only 2.7 milligrams. Moringa surpasses it significantly. Beta-carotene, the precursor to vitamin A, measures triple the concentration found in carrots. Calcium density in moringa leaves exceeds milk. This is not a vegetable. This is a biological warehouse of nutrition compressed into a single organism. The tree grows 18 feet tall in 6 months. It thrives in drought conditions. It survives in poor soil quality. It requires no fertilizer, no pesticides, no industrial infrastructure. You plant it once and it feeds you for decades. To the ancient world, this wasn't remarkable or supernatural. It was simply how food worked before the pharmaceutical industry decided to own nutrition. The documented history of moringa stretches back over 4,000 years, originating in the sub-Himalayan regions of India, where it was cultivated and revered in Ayurvedic medicine under the Sanskrit name shigru. Ayurvedic texts describe moringa as treatment for more than 300 different ailments. It wasn't labeled a superfood in modern marketing language, it was classified as medicine. By 2000 BCE, moringa had spread to ancient Egypt, where Egyptians extracted oil from the seeds, producing a golden liquid they called ben oil, using it to protect skin from brutal desert sun. It was blended into anti-aging creams and perfumes. The oil was so valued that jars of moringa oil were placed in pharaohs' tombs. Archaeologists have discovered these jars, confirming this was not folklore but documented practice. The ancient Greeks and Romans imported moringa for digestive issues, fatigue, and general vitality. It was considered high cuisine, not peasant food. The most revealing historical use comes from the ancient Mauryan Empire of India, where, according to historical records, Mauryan warriors were fed extracts of moringa leaves before entering battle. The belief was that the plant would relieve pain, reduce stress, and provide sustained energy during combat. This was not superstition or primitive thinking. Modern research has confirmed that moringa contains powerful anti-inflammatory compounds, comprehensive antioxidants, and complete nutrition supporting endurance. The warriors were biochemically correct in their application. For thousands of years, moringa was woven into the fabric of human survival across civilizations. It functioned as medicine, as food, as economic security. Then came 1913, the year that changed everything. At the University of Wisconsin, two biochemists named Elmer McCollum and Marguerite Davis made a discovery that would permanently alter the course of human nutrition. They isolated the first vitamin, vitamin A, from butter and cod liver oil. This should have been a footnote in agricultural history, a scientific confirmation that traditional foods like moringa contained powerful nutrients worth preserving. Instead, it became the foundation of an entirely new industry built on extracting, synthesizing, and selling individual nutrients. Western science made a deliberate choice in that moment that determined the next century of human nutrition. Instead of preserving the food plants that contained these nutrients naturally and promoting their cultivation, they decided to isolate the nutrients chemically and sell them back to populations at profit. By 1920, pharmaceutical company Parke-Davis had launched Medigen, a capsule of concentrated vitamin extracts containing synthetic vitamins A, B, and C. It was marketed exclusively to doctors, carried premium pricing, and was protected by patents. In 1927, Merck and Bayer collaborated to release Vigantal, the first synthetic vitamin D product. In 1933, Swiss chemist Thaddeus Reichstein developed a four-step process for Roche to synthesize vitamin C industrially. Roche would become the world's largest vitamin producer. Pfizer joined the race shortly after. The price of bulk synthetic vitamins dropped dramatically between the 1930s and early 1940s as these companies perfected industrial-scale chemistry. These pharmaceutical giants did not discover vitamins to help humanity overcome deficiency. They discovered how to own nutrition through patents and create permanent dependency. Moringa represented the greatest threat to their emerging business model. Consider the economics. Roche spent decades and millions of dollars developing industrial processes to synthesize vitamin C. Moringa leaves naturally contain 5 times more vitamin C than oranges, and you can grow the tree in your backyard without purchasing anything annually. Merck built an empire on synthetic vitamin D. Moringa leaves are loaded with vitamin D naturally. Pfizer synthesized iron supplements and sold them at premium prices. Moringa contains more iron than spinach without requiring pharmaceutical processing. The entire vitamin industry is constructed on the premise of scarcity, that you cannot obtain complete nutrition from food alone, that you need to purchase individual nutrients isolated and packaged from a pharmacy. Moringa obliterates that premise entirely. One tree provides complete nutrition, requires no prescription, cannot be patented, and generates no profit margin for pharmaceutical companies. The suppression of Moringa was not a conspiracy requiring secret meetings. It was pure economics playing out according to capitalist incentives. The economic forces working against Moringa operated on multiple levels simultaneously. First, the patent problem. You cannot patent a tree that has been cultivated for 4,000 years. You cannot claim intellectual property over a plant that exists in nature and has documented historical use. Pharmaceutical companies built their fortunes on patents, exclusive rights to sell a molecule for 20 years at monopoly prices with no competition. Moringa offers no such opportunity for monopolistic profit. Second, the processing problem. Moringa leaves degrade rapidly after harvest. The vitamin content drops significantly if the leaves are not processed immediately after picking. This makes Moringa fundamentally incompatible with industrial food systems that prioritize shelf life and long-distance shipping. Synthetic vitamins are chemically stable. They can sit in warehouses for years without losing potency. Third, the taste problem. Fresh Moringa leaves are bitter and require traditional preparation methods. Pharmaceutical companies funded extensive research into making synthetic vitamins palatable, coating them in sugar, compressing them into easy-to-swallow pills. Moringa required traditional preparation knowledge that took time and cultural transmission. Fourth, the standardization problem. A pharmaceutical pill has a standardized dose. Take one tablet, receive exactly 500 milligrams of vitamin C. Moringa is a whole food where nutrient content varies by soil quality, season, and preparation method. The pharmaceutical model demands uniformity and precise dosing. Moringa is wild and variable. But the deepest reason for Moringa suppression is this: Moringa does not generate recurring revenue. You purchase a Moringa tree once, plant it in the ground, and it grows for 20 years, feeding your family continuously. You never need to buy it again. A vitamin pill is the opposite business model. You take one today, tomorrow you need another, next week the bottle is empty, you return to the pharmacy and purchase more forever. This is not about health outcomes. This is about business models and profit sustainability. While Roche and Merck were spending billions to synthesize individual vitamins, funding university research and lobbying governments to fortify flour and milk with their patented products, Moringa was left to the margins of agricultural science. By 1942, 1/4 of Americans were taking vitamin pills regularly. By the 1950s, the vitamin industry was a fixture at the dinner table, and Moringa was dismissed as an obscure tropical plant with no commercial potential. The part that should provoke outrage, the vitamin industry built itself by creating a problem that did not need to exist. In the early 1900s, industrial food processing, canned goods, white flour, polished rice, stripped nutrients from the food supply. People became deficient in vitamins and minerals. The pharmaceutical industry responded not by preserving traditional whole foods or promoting nutrient-dense plants, but by synthesizing the missing nutrients and selling them back at profit. Moringa could have solved this completely. One tree in every backyard, one handful of leaves in every meal, complete nutrition, no deficiency, no industry required. The same pattern repeats in modern nutritional marketing. We're told we need calcium supplements, while Moringa grows wild with higher calcium density than milk. We're sold protein powders and amino acid supplements, while Moringa leaves contain complete amino acid profiles naturally. We're prescribed iron pills, while Moringa outperforms spinach without the need for pharmaceutical processing. The knowledge was never lost. It was simply economically inconvenient for industries built on selling isolated nutrients. But the tree still exists and remains accessible. Moringa grows across tropical and subtropical regions worldwide. India remains the largest producer. Small farmers in Africa and South America are cultivating it with increasing recognition of its value. Seeds are available through multiple sources. The knowledge is being recovered and transmitted through networks Heritage Garden Wisdom participates in. You can grow Moringa in a container. You can grow it in poor soil quality. You can harvest the leaves, dry them properly, grind them into powder, and add. The same pattern repeats in modern nutritional marketing. We're told we need calcium supplements, while Moringa grows wild with higher calcium density than milk. We're sold protein powders and amino acid supplements, while moringa leaves contain complete amino acid profiles naturally. We're prescribed iron pills, while moringa outperforms spinach without the need for pharmaceutical processing. The knowledge was never lost. It was simply economically inconvenient for industries built on selling isolated nutrients. But the tree still exists and remains accessible. Moringa grows across tropical and subtropical regions worldwide. India remains the largest producer. Small farmers in Africa and South America are cultivating it with increasing recognition of its value. Seeds are available through multiple sources. The knowledge is being recovered and transmitted through networks Heritage Garden Wisdom participates in. You can grow moringa in a container. You can grow it in poor soil quality. You can harvest the leaves, dry them properly, grind them into powder, and add them to smoothies, soups, or teas. You do not need a prescription. You do not need a pharmacy. You need a seed and sunlight. The taste is earthy, somewhere between spinach and matcha. The nutrition is unmatched by any single plant. This isn't about rejecting modern medicine entirely. Synthetic vitamins have saved lives in contexts where whole foods are unavailable or during acute deficiency. But we were never supposed to need them as a baseline requirement. We were supposed to have access to plants like moringa that provide complete nutrition naturally. The story of moringa is the story of an economic system that profits from scarcity and suffers when abundance is free and unpatentable. Growing moringa today is an act of rebellion against pharmaceutical models that tell you nutrition must be purchased pill by pill from corporations. It is reclaiming what humanity had for 4,000 years before the vitamin industry decided to own it through patents. The tree still grows. The knowledge still exists. Every time you plant a moringa seed, you opt out of the system that tried to bury it. If this breakdown from Heritage Garden Wisdom changed how you see the supplement industry, subscribe right now because we're exposing more plants that threaten billion-dollar industries. Share this with someone who needs to understand why the most nutritious trees were economically suppressed. Drop a comment telling me which nutrient-dense plants you want covered next. I'm Frank Miller, and this is Heritage Garden Wisdom, where we recovered the nutrition they tried to patent.